Hello, hello. I am TC, your girlfriend, not girlfriend, and the most honest fuck buddy you've never had. Today, I want to talk about what I feel the most important elements of a friends with benefits situation. I've listed about 7 things that I feel like from my two friends with benefits situation. One was 7.5 years, the other one was 3.5 years. It's the reason why they were able to be successful for so long and could have ended more amicably, to be honest. Top of the list is honesty. So I'm a type of person where I like to, from day one, let somebody know where my head is. Right now, my head is I'm not looking for anything long term. I am kind of just having fun. I do not like to do a whole bunch of partners and just kind of do these one night stands. I prefer, because my life is busy, having one person that I can just spend time with, chill with, you know, all of that and be cool. But I just want to let you know, I do not want anything serious. Additionally, if you are more open to a relationship, you're loosely looking for a relationship, maybe you don't see it with that person right now, but that's kind of where you are, be honest about that. Because from my experience, men, and I know somebody's going to say, like, oh, it's only two situations. Okay, they're not the only two people that I've ever been involved with in life. What I've seen is that men tend to feel like they can handle something that they cannot handle once they're actually in it. And what I mean by that is, and I'm not saying that females are not the same way. When I say be honest, I don't even just mean be honest with that person, be honest with yourself. Are you truly not open to a long term relationship, or are you open to that? Because if you are open to that, you need to share that, because that lets another that other person who you're entering into this relationship with know that there's a possibility that this may turn into something more for this person, and they can make an informed decision on how they want to continue with you, and that ends up being fair for both parties. The next one is communication. So I am a big communicator. I don't just say that just because I'm having this video. I like to talk a lot about what a person is thinking. It works in tandem with honesty, but communicating honestly and authentically is important, in having those deep mental piercing conversations that I feel like a lot of people do not have. I like to do check-ins whenever I feel a level of angst about a person's emotional space. When I just feel like they're moving into a space that I am not comfortable being in, or I am not at.
Hey, can we chat for a little bit? I feel like you may be feeling something that I'm not, and I could be wrong, but I just want to like check in. Like, where's your mindset? What are you thinking about as it pertains to us?
Allow that person to answer that question. Allow that person to sit there and stare at you for a moment and then answer that question. Because even if maybe they're thinking about not answering honestly, you opening that floor makes them feel more comfortable to share whatever it is that's going on in there, makes them feel more comfortable sharing that with you. And not only does it make them feel more comfortable sharing that with you, it also can give you a little bit more clarity, even if they are not 100% willing to share everything going on in there. It gives you more clarity on where their mental is, because they're going to meander their way through their, like, what they're thinking as they're talking to you. So it may not be linear, like, I'm thinking this, so this is what I feel. It may be like,
I'm still fine where we are. I enjoy the amount of time that we spend together. I enjoy that you're getting to know my family. I feel like maybe I want to consider a relationship maybe sooner than I thought, even if it's not with you.
like, just hearing those things, right? You're kind of seeing where their mindset is going. So you get to kind of make decisions, and you should share as well where you are. If you are still in the same place that you were at day one, like, share that with them so that they know and understand you have not moved or shifted. But communicating is important, because when you're, let's say for my situation, the most recent one that kind of imploded, when he got to moving to a space that I was not, he did not share that, and he intentionally did not share that because he did not want me to change our dynamic. And that's not fair, because that doesn't give me the ability to make any decisions as it pertains to how we move forward. To my knowledge, we're both having a great time doing what we're doing, and it just leaves room for somebody to hurt somebody. The next thing is respect. In my previous situations, both of them, I was very respectful of where we were. If out in public we decided that this is a space we feel comfortable acting, doing coupley things like holding hands or whatever, even if I saw somebody that was attractive in wherever we were, let's say, I don't know, we went to see a basketball game. Even if I found somebody that was attractive there, I've already made the decision to show up as a couple with this friends with benefits. So I'm not going to like let his hand go and then start eye flirting with that person across the stands or whatever. I'm not going to do that. It's just not a respectful thing to do. I've decided today to show up with this person. So that is the decision I made, and the decision that I'm going to go with for the day or for the time that we're in that space. Also, did not, I wouldn't even say make it a habit. I just didn't do it, period. But I see that males tend to do it more than females. I did not talk about other men around my friends with benefits. Like I didn't be like, oh, he's cute or whatever, or oh, I'm thinking about, you know, messing with this person or what. Like I didn't do any of that. I just felt not only was it not necessary, but it just wasn't respectful to our dynamic and understanding that we have a level of closeness with one another. We do care about one another. Putting him in a space where he's uncomfortable and he's feeling like while I'm hanging with him, I'm thinking about hanging with this other person. That's just rude, you know? Being respectful, I feel, is very important for the friends of benefits dynamic because it helps build a level of trust between the two of you. It allows that person to trust that you care about them and they are able to care about you. How would you want that person to treat you? The next one is maturity. This is important to all of these are important, I suppose. Maturity is important. If you are in a friends with benefits relationship and that person maybe is taking interest in another person and they're open and honest and they tell you about this other person that they're talking to or interested in, do not try to sabotage that situation. You have agreed that you just want, this and this is cool for you. If they're moving into another space with another person, do not try to scold them for that. Do not try to make them feel bad about that. Be an adult. They are allowed to participate in other situations because that is the dynamic that you guys agreed on. So be mature and take that. If it doesn't work for you, because it's not to say that you have to be, 100% okay with it and just like sit there and be upset or be hurt while this person is going off and spending some time with another person and then only spending maybe one day out of the week with you and you're not cool with that. Communicate that. And if you want to change that dynamic, your dynamic, communicate that. Be honest about that. But don't try to trap someone into spending multiple days with you just so they are unable to see other people or do other things just because you don't want that person to be having fun with other people because you can't handle it. If you can't handle something like that, do not enter into a friends with benefits situation because that kind of comes with the territory, friend. Just letting you know. Another space of maturity comes with understanding that this is not forever. Maybe you want to continue this for the rest of your life, but the other person may not. Or vice versa. Maybe you are ready to move into another space and you feel like your relationship has moved into that, like it's moving into that area because you guys are buying each other Christmas gifts and you guys are like having fun with each other's families for the holidays and everybody knows you and loves you. Your family knows them and loves them. You feel like it's gradually moving into that space. I think being mature and knowing and understanding that when you're friends, you bring your friends around your family and your family likes your friends. You get your friends Christmas gifts. I know that I get my friends Christmas gifts. You travel with your friends. You do all of these things with your friends. So this person is your friend just with the added benefit of sexual intimacy. That does not mean that naturally you guys are supposed to be moving into a relationship. If you're moving into that space, you have to be honest and communicate that. But be mature and know that this person can just be having a great time with you. And that's that. So, yeah, I think that's my bit on maturity. Understanding. Understanding is okay. Being understanding and knowing that both of you guys have feelings. Both of you guys have emotions, and there are going to be times where one of you or both of you may slip. And when I say that, I mean like you're spending this time with somebody else, and that friends with benefits who you spend majority of your time with, they may text you, or they may the next time you see them, they may be a little jelly. That is natural. Like, understand that if that person cares about you, they are going to care about where you spend your time. Do not get angry with them because they got a little jelly. Talk to them. Like, just be like, okay, hey, I noticed that you feeling some type of way, like you throwing shade. What's going on? Open the floor for them to share with you and feel safe to share with you why they feel that way. And then calmly reiterate where you guys are and what you guys are doing. Definitely let them know, like, hey, I care about you. Like, I love spending time here. I love the time that we have. I love what we are to one another. I really do. But, it's fun to hang out with Johnny. I am not seeing Johnny as like potential the one. I'm not seeing him as that, unless you are. Because if you are, also communicate that. But bottom line, honesty is the way to go here, and communication is the way to go here. But talk to them and be calm and be understanding. Don't reprimand them for being human. Also, understanding that somebody may be moving faster or slower than you are. Let's say you're the person who is getting a little jealous and you're noticing some things about your emotions toward this person. Understand that they may not be there. So don't get frustrated with them and feel like they're treating you wrong because they're talking to other people, or they're not moving at the pace that you're moving at. To their understanding, you guys are in a dynamic where you're free to be, you're free to do what you want to do. So if they're not, kind of wanting to commit to you or moving in a space that you feel like they should be moving in, understand that they may not know that you are moving into that space. So they're not intentionally trying to be dismissive, or they're not intentionally trying to not take the relationship to the next level. It's not something that they're consciously doing or not doing. They're just understand that they are comfortable in the space that you guys have created. And if you want to change anything, be honest and communicate that. So the next one is compassion. And I think that works kind of with understanding, dealing with things with compassion. So, in being understanding, you want to show a level of compassion I mean, not a level, but a great level of compassion for that person and their emotions in either direction. I think, especially for the people like me in friends with benefit situations who are not wanting to do anything more than just this friends of benefits, just have a great time, travel together, have good sex, all of that. Show some compassion to that person's emotions. When you can see that they are really having a good time in that situation, I mean, first of all, you are as well. Nurture that. The things that you're comfortable with, like, sleeping together or enjoying dinner together, or, whatever. Those kind of cool things that solidify comfort and trust and just make a friends with benefits situation all the more rich is just showing that level of compassion for the person who you're hanging out with. Nurture those emotions. I don't really have anything extensive to say on that because I feel like it's just simple. It's a very natural thing. Like, you naturally feel like cuddling. You naturally feel like spending a lot of time together. You naturally feel like going out together. You naturally feel these things. Allow those things to occur and don't put up this really hard roadblock unless you know that like that's a tipping point for you and it's going to lead you to maybe feeling some ways that you don't want to feel. But just show that level of compassion for that person that you are with in a similar way that you would show it to someone who you are actually dating. It is similar. It's not the same, but it is similar. And I think a key difference is having a stopping point, because with dating, because you guys are looking at forever, there is really no stopping point. You just kind of immerse yourself in that feeling, that energy. But with a friends with benefits situation, you do have a stopping point to guard and just keep safe your feelings, and be respectful to that person and their feelings. The last one, which I feel like should have been maybe like one or two, is trust. Trust and honesty, they kind of like, they're right here. Those are the super important foundational things to any relationship. But I feel like, especially a friends with benefits situation, because in a relationship, there's certain like rules that I want to say go without saying, even though people have like different types of relationships. They have polyamorous and open and all these other kind of things. There are some ground rules that kind of go without saying and may could just be reiterated in like actual relationships. But in friends of benefits situations, you're really kind of flying by your coattail there. Rules are made up as situations present themselves, and people following those rules or trying to be careful not to mess up. It's a lot easier to mess up in a friends of benefits situation, because all the rules that you may need to make your friends of benefits situation a productive one or a great one for the both of you are not established in the beginning. You can spend whatever time you want with whomever you want because you are not in a relationship. You are fine to do whatever you want to do. However, what are the rules of your relationship? How have you guys been conducting yourself in your relationship? What do you guys feel is okay? What have you guys spoken about is okay? And when it does not, when it's no longer okay for you, can that person trust that you are going to be honest and come to them with a change that you want to make, or with an alteration that you want to make? Can they trust you to do that? Can they trust you to be honest with them, right? So I remember this specific time when my friends of benefits, the one of 3.5 years, Tyler, um, when he had went out of town, and I had another friend that I spent some intimate time with. Um, well, when Tyler got back, we were like chatting, and it took a couple days, but he was like, "Did you spend time with somebody else while I was gone?" And this is the crazy thing. Your brain wants to lie because you don't want to see that person upset. Like, you don't want to deal with that person being upset, right? But I'm not a liar. I'm a very honest person. I'll take the repercussions. I'm honest to a fault. And I say unfortunately because it has affected me in my work, uh, my career. But I am very honest. So my brain wanted to say, no, 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 no. But my mouth, before my brain could even like talk me out of being truthful, I told him, I was like, yeah, I did. And he was butthurt about it, right? And we talked about why he, was upset. And he, at the end of it, he understood, like, I can't really be upset about that. It's just, I'm just a man and a little possessive. So I felt some type of way about it, but it's cool. Like, it's cool. If I would have told him no, and like I actually didn't do anything, if I would have told him no, whatever feelings of him, why he felt like asking the question, because I'm a trustworthy person and we have established that level of trust for one another, he wouldn't have thought any more about it. And he would have been fine to just continue on, right? And having that level of trust for a person, trusting that they care about you, trusting that they will not hurt you or they don't want to hurt you, right? That allows a friends with benefits situation to flourish, because at the end of the day, your friends who you don't have the added benefits of intimacy or that level of intimacy with, you trust them. You need to trust them. If something happens, you want to be able to trust that your friend is going to show up for you, You want to trust that you're able to depend on that person. You want to trust that you're able to say, like, I know for certain that this person has my best interest at heart, or this person is looking out for me. The same rules to a friendship applies to a friends with benefits relationship, right? Keyword starting with that F, that friends. So having that level of trust that you can depend on that person to be open and honest with you is important. Having that trust that that person will not betray you is important. So trust is a very important, like one of the top two pillars, I think, for in the foundation of friends with benefits relationships. So I would urge you guys who are thinking about entering into a friends with benefits relationship or in one right now, please consider all of these things that I listed: honesty, communication, respect, maturity, understanding, compassion, trust. Really consider all of those things and make sure that they are present in your friends with benefits relationship, because if they are not, you run the risk of getting hurt, or you run the risk of hurting someone else. So that's all I have today, guys. Thanks for listening. As always, if you are interested in this kind of content, keep watching. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, because they also help me zero in on what aspects of friends with benefits relationships people don't really know about, or people are confused about, or just don't have success with in their own friends with benefits relationships, or when they're thinking, or things that you're apprehensive about. I love all the questions. So that's all I have for today, guys. See ya.